Happy Sunday, everybody. You woke up today. You took a breath. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope you really, really enjoyed it. Screw the Patriots, okay? We're rooting for Sammy Boy tonight. Come on, Sammy. Please be the good news story for tomorrow. Please, Sam Darnold. Win, please, for all of us. I know every Jet fan out there is rooting for you tonight. Please. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about somebody I'm sure you all know, Ted Bundy. If you don't know who Ted Bundy is, he was a serial, K-I-L-L-E-R. I talk about them a lot. And he would go to nightclubs where it was just dudes, and he would drug the young dudes and take them home and then do unspeakable things to these young men. Keep their body parts in his fridge. He was a sick man. Very, very, very sick. But what's crazy about it is I was watching this interview last night of a priest. This priest came and visited him in jail and was talking about how Ted truly felt remorse for what he did. He felt terrible and he gave his life to Christ. And in the last 6 to 8 months of his life, he was in jail and he suffered. He got the consequences for his actions in jail. He was, I can't say it, but in jail and passed away by fellow inmates. And he claimed that he believed in Jesus Christ before he died. And this has always been like a tough thing for me personally, is like, Ted Bundy deserves hell. I think all of us can agree what that man did deserves a seat right next to the devil himself at the deepest pit of hell. But also, we're called as followers that everyone can be rescued no matter what awful things they have done. And, I've wrestled with this for a very, very long time, but if Ted Bundy really did give his life to Christ in those final couple of months, and he truly repented, and he truly felt sorry for what he did, and gave it to Christ, and did everything he could with the time he had left to be better and to follow Christ and what he tells us to do, then I 100% believe that I will see Ted Bundy one day in heaven. 100%. And that's like a crazy thing to say, right? Like one of the most prolific serial KILLERs in history. And he's probably sitting with God right now, partying it up. It's both equally terrifying and beautiful, right? Like it tells you that like no matter how far in that pit you have dug yourself, Jesus is always there with his hand waiting to extend. He's extended his hand, and he's just waiting for you to grab it so he can pull you out. And then your testimony of how you got out of that pit is how you bring others out of that pit. And I just thought, wow, like watching the video and listening to the priest and the priest talking about Ted and how like he really, really did feel remorseful and really was trying to change his ways. And it makes me think of Robert Rule that we talked about not too long ago, about understanding that everybody is broken. I'm just as broken as Ted. I just haven't committed heinous acts like that, but I've also committed heinous acts throughout my life. Terrible things. I've broken all the commandments, guys, at least 10 times. At least 10 times. I deserve hell. I deserve that seat in hell, right next to Mr. Ted Bundy. But the both of us get to go to heaven because of Jesus Christ. And it reminds me a lot of St. Paul. For those that don't know, the Apostle Paul, St. Paul, who wrote most of the letters that I take from, he originally was Saul of Tarsus. And Saul's job was he was like a secret agent. He would infiltrate the Christian communities, like the early Christian communities. We're talking like 10, 15 years after Christ's death and resurrection. Like we're still very early into the church. And the church was very small. It was persecuted because of dudes like Saul. He would sneak in. He'd befriend the Christian community, and then he would rat them out. And then he would hold the coats of everybody as they stoned the Christians to death. He would sit there and hold their coats and watch. I mean, he was Jesus' biggest hater. And then he became Jesus' biggest fanboy, and we read his letters to this day. And one of the most beautiful things I've ever read was that, when the Apostle Paul died and he went to heaven, the people that cheered the loudest for him were the people that he martyred. Those people that he ratted out, those people that he watched get stoned to death, that he was totally the reason for, they cheered the loudest. And that's what we're called to do as followers, is that we are the salt of the earth. This is what the priest was talking about today. We are the salt and the light of the earth. And we cheer for everybody who decides to bring their life to Christ, no matter what they've done, no matter what they've done to you, no matter who they are. The whole point is that you are them. You were them, and now you're not, because you found a new life through Christ. And so did Ted, and so did Saul of Tarsus. They became someone different through Jesus Christ. And it's beautiful. It's one of those where I've wrestled with that question for a very, very long time, you guys. Like, how does that work? But what I've realized is when everybody's Ted Bundy really deep down, like, we only can get there through Jesus Christ. Nothing you do will ever make it to heaven. Somebody 2,000 years ago by the name of Jesus of Nazareth did something so that you could go to heaven. Your grace is already given. The most pivotal moment in history has already happened. Now you just have to accept it and believe in it. So let me get to the verse of the day. I'll stand up and read it. I really hope Sam Darnold wins tonight, you guys. You guys don't understand how much I dislike the New England Patriots. Any Jet fan out there that watches this will understand. I want him to win so badly. Okay, so it's Romans 5, verse 8. But God proves his love for us in that while we still were sinners, Christ died for us. Much more surely then, now that we have been justified by his blood, we will be saved through him from the wrath of God. That's Paul. That's Saul of Tarsus writing that. He got it. He figured it out, right? It's nothing we will do will get us there. It's up to Jesus. I love all of you. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Watch the game tonight. Root for the Seahawks. Do not be rooting for the Patriots. Do not do it. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Peace.